Let me jump in with a question here. What is, and go to Karim Sadjadpour, what is the likely impact internally within Iran if the U.S. were to attack?
Well, Margaret, there's a young man called Ahmed Batabi, who some of you may recall was on the front cover of The Economist in 1999. He was a student protester, and he was sentenced to 10 years solitary confinement. And he recently escaped Iran through the mountains of Kurdistan, and he came to the U.S. not long ago. In his first interview when he came here with the New York Times, he was asked precisely this question. And he said, were the U.S. to bomb Iran, he would go back to Iran and fight on behalf of his country. This is a young man who spent 10 years in solitary confinement in Evin prison. So you can imagine his reaction. You can only imagine the reaction of the masses at large.
Response from your team on that?
I don't, it's a theory. It's not at all clear that there's much evidence to adduce on behalf of it. As you know, and as you've written, it's an extremely unpopular regime. And we are not talking about a war between the United States and Iran. We're not talking about the Americans killing civilians, bombing cities, destroying mosques, hospitals, schools. No, no, no. We're talking about nuclear facilities which most Iranians know very little about, have not seen, will not see, some quite well hidden. So they wake up in the morning and find out that the United States is attacking those facilities, and presumably with some good messaging about why we're doing it and why we are not against the people of Iran. It's not clear to me that the reaction is, let's go to war with the Americans, but rather, perhaps, how did we get into this mess? Why did those guys, the very unpopular Ayatollahs, in a country 70% of whose population is under the age of 30, why did those old guys get us into this mess?
Yeah, you know, when you say that, it reminds me of my experience with Israel using military force against Palestinians, with the expectation that they would turn against their leadership, particularly Hamas in Gaza in the latest round, for getting them into this mess. And yet they didn't. Guess what? They got angry with the Israelis. And the Iranians will be angry with the United States because we will be the ones that are bombing them. So I just don't think in practice your hypothesis is going to play itself out.
I would just say I'm not persuaded that's true in Gaza. It's very hard to figure out, but it is not at all clear that this round was not viewed by the people of Gaza as something brought upon them by the Hamas guys.